Ty, first quarter, over here. First quarter, they came out pretty strong against you guys. End of the first quarter, James kind of gets going. Is that what turned the tide for you guys at the end of the quarter? Going into the second was just what James was able to do?
Well, yeah, James was able to make shots, but I thought what really turned the tide was Chris Dunn, coming in the game, his energy, his defense. I thought John Collins' energy, coming off the bench. I thought he did a really good job of just picking up our energy, picking up our defensive intensity. And then, yeah, of course, James made shots, which was huge for us as well.
Coach, over here, you talked about mentality. How did that kind of show itself on the defensive end of the floor?
Like I said, after the first quarter or after the first 8 or 9 minutes of the first quarter, I thought we did a good job just understanding what they were running, how they were trying to run, the pace they played at, and then we was able to lock in, get more physical to try to slow them down on their cuts and running their plays, and we did a way better job, from the second half of the first quarter all the way through.
What do you like about your starting lineup right now?
It's a good fit.
How did that fit do so well to begin that second half? Like, they got out to a 10-0 run, and you said the other night in Utah before the game, you felt like guys are going to be able to score the basketball. It's going to be about the defense. Why was the defense so much better to start the second half with those guys than it was to begin the game?
Like I said, just seeing how a team plays, how fast they run, how fast they cut, and then what they're trying to do and how they're trying to exploit us. And so once we were able to lock into that and understand, what they were doing, I thought our guys did a really good job of adjusting. I thought JVG did a good job of adjusting our defense, as well to keep them off balance. And we was able to do that really well as well. So, every night's got to be a defensive mindset if we want to win games. Like I said, we'll be able to score, but we got to be able to stop people. And so it was good to see, our defense picked up, like I said, at the last 4 minutes of the first quarter all the way through.
Coach, you were right over here. You're efficient from the charity stripe. You shot a lot of free throws, over 20. How important was that in turning the tide after that first quarter?
It was huge, getting to the free throw line, slowing the game down so we can get our defense set. So it was huge to try to slow down their speed. And so, when you got guys that can get to the free throw line and, you're able to set your defense, we are a way better team.
James Harden was a bit more of a facilitator in the first game than he enforces himself, especially early in this game. What kind of confidence does that give you when you kind of see both parts of his game flourish through the first two?
It's good. Like I said, today, tonight we needed it, every bit of it, especially 26 in the first half was huge. And then, coming out, like he said, like you want to get the other guys going, get other guys going, get them in a rhythm. And so he wasn't really looking for a shot. He was looking to get guys involved and, just being a team player and just kind of get the flow of the game right. So it was huge for us.
Coach, congrats on the win. What were you looking at in terms of, like, the first half to the second half? Because by the time you got to the second half, the game kind of blew a bit more open. So what exactly are you looking for in that beginning half where you're hoping they're tightening up defensively, and then the second half as you have a bigger lead?
Just don't get bored with the game. We had to call a timeout. Then we had 3 turnovers in a row, just getting cute. And so instead of running through the finish line, doing things the right way, like don't get cute. Just finish the game and play it the right way. But I did like our rotations. I was able to switch up our rotations from game 1 to now. And, just looking at different combinations and how we need to play.
Is that something you see yourself still having to say to a team with veterans? Like, don't get cute?
I said in the timeout, didn't work.
Hey, Ty, with James, in that second quarter, he kind of was chirping a little bit there, and it kind of lit a spark under him. Is he a guy that, after you see game 1 where he was more of a facilitator in this game, with him chirping, it kind of led to him, bringing it at the defense? Is he a guy that you ever have to kind of hey, I need you to, be in attack mode, or is that just him?
He's always in attack mode, and so, when Brooks is talking stuff to him, like getting him going, he lives with it for those moments. And so we know, Dylan's a great defender, and so he wants that challenge every night. And James loves going against the best defenders, and so it was a good match for him tonight.
Ty, just to kind of follow up on that, when you see a guy like that who wants to instigate and get under guys' skin, do you say anything to get guys to kind of keep their composure?
Keep our composure, keep playing, and he looks for moments to get guys, try to fluster guys and rattle guys, but just, keep our composure, keep playing, And, you know, we was able to get him in foul trouble a little bit to kind of slow him down.
Second, I believe second straight game we haven't seen Bogey. Just what's behind his DMP so far,
Our communication.
which has been
Our communication.
so it's understood that he's just not going to play right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did he receive that?
He was great.
Thank you.
Ty, over here. Yannick, I know in limited minutes, especially in the preseason, but what have you seen from Yannick as he's developed from when he was drafted to summer league to preseason to now? Because he had a few good plays late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, just understanding the game, what we need him to do. But not just Yannick, like all of our young guys have really gotten, you know, a lot better since summer league. And, you know, we owe it to our, you know, player development staff with Shawn, who leads that. And JVG did a good job of just locking those guys into the defensive end. And so all of our young guys have gotten extremely better, you know. And so, you know, when you put that kind of work in, you see the results. I'm happy for those kids.
Ty, question about the older guys. You mentioned that don't get bored. Like, what's it like for you to coach a team with so many guys with so much experience?
It's good. You know, a lot of times they think they know everything, but, you know, it is what it is.
Ty, the other night on Wednesday night after the game, you said it was a lesson to be learned how that game started for you guys you guys weren't ready for their speed, their cuts. Do you think you guys learned that lesson tonight?
You know, I hope so. You know, I think the style of basketball has changed, you know, and so the way teams play, you know, with a lot of ghost screens, a lot of falling the pass, slipping out, and you got to be physical and be on bodies in order to keep up because, like you said, we're not the fastest team in the world. So, you know, when guys are doing that, we got to keep bodies on guys and try to steer and nudge so we can get to our post. But the game is different, you know, so we got to be able to keep up with their speed. And the only way to do that is, like I said, being physical and being on bodies. And, you know, goal screens, run outs, slip outs, shooting fives, 4 guys crashing the glass. Like, it's just all different now. So we got to keep up with the times. Yeah.